My name is Benton Stokes. I'm a former fundamentalist, post-evangelical worship leader, and songwriter. I enjoy wry Manhattans, roller coasters, and road trips, just not all at the same time.
I'm Elane O'Rourke, and I'm a teacher, an author, and a spiritual coach. I was a philosophy professor and a liberal pastor in a couple of former lives, and these days, I love aha moments and not-so-dry martinis.
We have conversations about life and God with a queer perspective, over cocktails, like you. This is Cocktail Theology.
Okay, so I've got the wine opener version of a church key, and I'm about to pour in the pop the top. I don't even know what we're doing here. We're popping the top and pouring it into the glasses. I don't know what we're making, and I don't know how much to pour in. Help me out.
Okay, all right. So what we're doing is we're making French 75s.
Okay.
And a French 75 requires about as much sparkling wine as it has gin and lemon juice and simple syrup.
Okay, so gin, lemon juice, simple syrup, one part together, and then one part spark.
Yes.
All right, hold on a minute.
That's simple. There we go. Okay. Oh, look at the fizzy.
Oh, it's pretty. It's in my mom's
nice.
crystal too, which I never use, and makes me very happy.
You know, it's the last episode of the season. We got to celebrate.
Or mourn. I'm mourning. I'm sad.
It's also Christmas, so we're celebrating.
All right, I can celebrate that. I mean, I love doing this with you, so.
I love doing this too.
All right.
Okay, hang on. I'm going to get my glass.
Okay. We'll see how well I poured.
All right, let's see.
Because that was my job.
Cheers. Oh, there's nothing wrong with that.
I love a French 75. I like it with cognac. I like it with gin. There's just something about it. The lemon juice and the sparkling and the...
Yeah, so it's gin, lemon juice, simple syrup, and sparkling wine. You can use Prosecco. We had some Corbel, so it doesn't have to be fancy.
No.
Probably better if it isn't.
Yeah.
And it's just a great drink to have when you're celebrating or when you're festive, you're having a party, you're having friends over. It's easy.
Yes.
You can do the gin part ahead of time, and you just top it off with some sparkle, and people are impressed. And
well, actually, the truth is you could do all kinds of things with this that weren't as alcoholic.
That's true. Absolutely, you could.
Yeah. So this is a good one. This is a good one to modify for.
This is a great one for mocktail too.
For other people who don't want the alcohol.
It's terrific, and it's the holidays. And cheers!
Yay! Cheers to you. So, what are we talking about tonight, my friend? Now that I've figured out how to do this.
So we are winding down season 5. Crazy, 5 seasons. Our 35th episode this season. I thought it'd be fun to just talk about Christmas songs that we love and love to hate.
So we did this. So for people who haven't been following us for 8 years, we did this in my old living room in Tennessee, and it was one of my favorite times with you is doing this whole thing and then splicing in the music about it. People, you gotta go find it. It's really
Facebook Live. You need to just go find it.
It's really funny. Anyway,
we're not gonna recapture the magic of that night because who can do that? But we are gonna have some fun because we're gonna talk about Christmas music. Which Christmas music, first of all,
it's a crapshoot. People
start listening to Christmas music way too early. You shouldn't be listening to Christmas music until after Thanksgiving. I'm sorry.
If the kids haven't gone back to school, you shouldn't even be thinking about Christmas music.
Don't even be thinking about it.
Right.
So that's the first thing. But secondly, I think there are so many different categories in my head of Christmas music. You've got sacred Christmas music. Mm-hmm. You've got Christmas songs that you play at parties. You have Christmas songs that are classics. You have Christmas songs that are pop and just pretty much dribble.
You mean like Michael Bublé? Is that his last name?
Michael Bublé? Yeah,
not my favorite.
Yeah.
I mean, I know people love him, and I realize that, and that's totally fine. It is he's not Neil Diamond, but he's freaking close. Okay.
For those of you who don't know, Elane doesn't really care for Neil Diamond very much.
That's a nice way to say it.
So I'm going to start with Christmas songs that I really enjoy.
Okay.
In the sacred category. I love O Come, Emmanuel, as you know. And that's kind of more of an Advent song.
Really is.
And those of you that know us know that we really honor Advent and we spend those weeks leading up to Christmas really anticipating the coming of Christ. During those seasons, O Come, Emmanuel is one of those songs that just builds that anticipation and that longing
Yes,
and it's just it's minor, and it's just got some really interesting chords and harmonies, and I love it. I loved it so much that I created my own version of it and put it up.
I really love your version of it. I generally don't like things that tweak with things, but I think your version is phenomenal.
Thank you. Well, I just set out to capture the way I feel when I sing it, and I feel like I did that. So I do love Silent Night. Now, I have to tell you, though, that I really don't want to sing Silent Night until Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve is when you light the candles and you sing Silent Night. I just have that memory from church growing up, and that's just something that's really sweet to me.
Yeah.
And I think probably the other really celebratory Christmas hymn that I like is Hark the Herald Angels Sing.
Really?
It's very Old English in its text.
It is.
But it's beautifully written, and the melody is singable but pretty and unique. And it's an anthem, so you can push the tempo on it a little bit, and people enjoy singing it standing up, and, it's just like I don't know, it's just one of those songs that kind of caps off the season for me.
All right. So Silent Night for me, I don't want to ever hear it unless it's at a late night service and you're emerging into the cold, dark night, and that's the last song you sing with no light and just candles.
I love that.
Because for me, that going out into the dark, quiet and singing that, it just, we were talking about spirituality recently. For me, it's just like, it is one of those like Pavlov kind of things where I just go, poof. I like Silent Night. That's the only time I want to hear it.
That's the only time, right.
I'm right there with you on O Come, O Come. And I'm not a big Hark the Herald Angels person.
Okay.
I admit that I really love the one that goes, "Glah," because it's
Angels
fun
We've
to
Heard on High.
sing.
It is fun to sing.
Like if you're a singer, it's really, really fun to sing.
It is.
So I like that. And I've got a couple of others that I don't know if they count as sacred songs.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. I love Lo How a Rose E'er Bloomin'.
That's a good one.
And I Heard the Bells on Christmas, which is, it's a wonderful poem. It's actually, I think, better as a poem than a song, but that's fine. And then, what's that one that I used to force you to do all the time? It wasn't Lo How a Rose, but it was that in the bleak midwinter.
Oh my gosh, I love In the Bleak Midwinter.
Such a good song. And I don't know if that's, I don't think it's really sacred.
It's another poem that's been set to music. It's been set to music. There are two very identifiable tunes. One of them was written by Gustav Holst.
Right.
The other one, which is actually one that I kind of like better, was written by a composer. His last name is Dark. I'm not going to get his first name right now. But it's just so beautiful, and it matches the text so perfectly. And
that's another, what I would consider an Advent song.
Yeah, I think so too.
Okay. All right. I think we're good on that. Are there any other sacred songs?
I love O Holy Night, but I've heard it done so badly so many times. I will say that one version that I really love, there's a Christian singer, her name is Natalie Grant, and she put out a Christmas album, probably close to 20 years ago now. But she does a version of O Holy Night that is exquisite. It's really wonderful, and I listen to it multiple times a season, and it just moves me every year.
So you should play that for me, because I don't think I've heard it.
Yeah.
The thing I don't like about O Holy Night is the thing that I don't like about the Star Spangled Banner at events, is that the singer seems to think that it's about them. And so there will be these flourishes and these showing offs of what I'm able to do that just like, okay, so O Holy Night, Jesus is about you. Good to know.
Great.
That right there is the end of Christianity.
Right.
Right there. This is why we suck. Okay.
Right there.
All right. So what else?
So I think in the category of kind of classic Christmas songs, I do enjoy the chestnuts roasting on the open fire, but I love, the original version. The Nat King Cole version is my favorite.
Okay.
I wouldn't say that Silver Bells is one of my favorite Christmas songs. However, I have heard two really wonderful arrangements of it this Christmas.
Oh, yeah?
That have sort of breathed some new life in it for me.
Okay.
And I do love city scenes at Christmas and the hustle and bustle and people dressed up for parties. We were just in San Francisco for the symphony recently, and just there's an energy at Christmas in San Francisco that's a little different for me. Trees twinkling in some of the upstairs windows and music spilling out of the restaurants. And it's just, there's something very sentimental and kind of romantic about it that I love. And so Silver Bells for me this year is sort of conjuring up those kinds of images, which I really like.
Interesting. All right, so staying on sort of the classical but secular. This is not a classical song, but I will simply say that I love You're Sitting by the Fire.
Oh, thank you.
I love it. It touches that I'll be home for Christmas thing, but without the sadness of that.
Oh, yeah.
Right? It's such a sweet, sweet song. I actually really love it at Christmas.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
It's true. And then, I'm a big fan of all of the ridiculous songs. No, I'm just kidding. One of my very favorite Christmas songs is actually by the Goo Goo Dolls.
Oh, okay.
And I know. But they did a song called Better Days that is absolutely a Christmas song. There's no question about it. It's about God and Jesus coming and the forgiveness, all of that. But it sounds like a secular song because it's the Goo Goo Dolls, but I think it's one of my top 10 at this point.
Wow.
I love that song. Better Days. Yeah.
That's really awesome. Yeah. Okay. So what are some Christmas songs that you just really don't want to ever hear again?
Little Town of Effing Bethlehem. I hate that song so much. I
know you hate it.
Much. And it's like, there's nothing wrong with the song, but I don't want to be singing about a little town at Christmas. I just don't, I don't get it must have been written by somebody who lived in a really small town somewhere who's trying to reclaim Bethlehem. Because, Bethlehem, it was at that time, it was even though it was prophesied that the Messiah or whatever would come from Bethlehem, I mean, it was really backwater.
Oh, yeah.
It was really backwater. And all I can figure is that somebody in the middle of unnamed town, Mississippi, decided, or Arizona, or wherever, it could be California, it doesn't matter. But someone said, our town isn't really represented. Let's do something about Bethlehem, because it is just, oh my God. How still we see thee lie. It's like, I never need to hear that song again. And that's of the classic ones.
Right.
Right. I mean, I have other classic ones I could live without ever hearing again, but that one's right up there. I'm not a big fan of Joy to the World anymore.
Really?
I think it's because it gets played at the wrong moment in a service.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of like for O Come All You Faithful, I want to hear it at the front of the service. I don't want to hear it halfway through. I think I like that linearity, that sense of coming out of Advent and approaching and then being thrilled.
Yeah.
But it's very hard for me, for example, to go from either Silent Night into Joy to the World or Joy to the World into Silent Night. And I get that biblically it works fine. But for me, I either want to be conscious of the quiet and the mysterious of this, or I want to see the angels all flooding the sky.
Sure. Two very different kinds of
it's not bad.
visions.
It's not a bad song. It's not like Grandma got run over by a reindeer. Which is just,
yeah.
I mean, okay, so first of all, everything that's wrong with certain groups of Christianity, that song.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't it funny that Grandma got run over by a reindeer? And that Grandpa's, a little sad? Yeah. It's like, okay.
Yeah, anyway. It's rough.
Yeah, that one, yeah. What else?
Well, I really don't understand, let alone enjoy, Barbra Streisand's Jingle Bells.
I'm so glad you brought that up.
I just jingle bell, 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 jingle bell. I don't get it. And then it goes into this little waltzy verse, and it comes back to this panicked chorus. I just don't understand. Why are we panicked?
Well, she's Jewish, for God's sake.
She just wants to get through it.
I mean, give the woman a break. Okay?
I mean, it's not Barbara. It's just that song is terrible.
It's really, I get it. I get it. And people love it. People love it.
I guess they do.
So one of my favorite seasonal songs, that's not a Christmas song, is actually Adam Sandler. Adam Sandler's The Hanukkah Song.
I love the Hanukkah song.
First of all, he sounds so sweet and so dear in it, and he's so clearly having fun with the audience.
Yeah.
So near our house, there is a house that celebrates Hanukkah.
Yes.
And it's like the only house around, but it is one of those showstopper, huge displays for Hanukkah. It is the best thing in San Jose. That's how I feel about Adam Sandler's Hanukkah song.
I love it too. I know that this one turns up on a lot of worst songs ever lists, but I have to say I have a fond spot for the Chipmunks.
I love the Chipmunks.
I know. I Christmas Don't Be Late. I love it. I love hearing it every Christmas.
So one of the things that more recent listeners of ours don't know is that when my child was younger, she was enamored of the Chipmunks in general. And when we were driving to or from school or driving to the grocery store, whatever, she would say, "Mama, do the Chipmunks." So I would have to tell a story. Well, not have to, but I would tell a story where, first of all, Alvin got increasingly dangerous. So at one point in the story, Alvin was blowing things up. But I would do the voices of the 3 boy chipmunks and the 3 girl chipmunks. And in driving, I'm like, wait, what does Simon sound like? Wait, what Brittany? What's her?
Hi, Brittany. Hi, Simon. I'm so glad to see you.
I mean, it was ridiculous. This went on for years.
Oh my gosh.
But I do love that song. I do love the Chipmunk song. It's sweet.
It's very sweet. Okay, so All I Want for Christmas Is You. So it has become Jingle Bells or Sleigh Bells, or it's become that popular with millennials and it's just become the Christmas. And I don't hate it, but I really don't have to hear it again. And it's been covered so many times, and it's just, ugh.
So you have to get my kid to play the mashups of that with other songs.
Okay.
It's brilliant. Once you've mashed it up with really serious, heavy rap, it's pretty awesome, honestly.
Okay.
Let's see. Other songs that we hate or love. Which ones are we on?
Either way.
One of my very favorite songs is Raise the Tree by Trent Dabbs, is it?
Yeah, Trent Dabbs.
Okay. So I heard it right after we moved to Tennessee. That first probably 2 years of being in Tennessee was really rough for me for a lot of reasons, including, people I was really close to died. My dog died. My mom's crystal was, it was rough.
Yeah.
And I don't remember how I came across the CD, but I got the 10 out of 10 CD, and it has some funny stuff on it too, which is wonderful. But there was something about that Raise the Tree song, and it goes into the line that Christmas is better with you.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember, I'm going to get choked up. Things had been so rough. I remember saying to you and Jeremy, Christmas is better with you.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because we were singing together, we were doing church together.
Yeah.
It was awesome. And that was the bright spot for me about being in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Like my family was fine. Here's a good reason to be here.
Yeah.
And so that song, every time I hear it, I'm just like, yes.
Yeah. I love that. I don't know. There are songs that hit me differently every year. It's funny.
Yep.
I remember there was a year back then when I was putting together these programs for the church we used to serve. And it was the first song that I'd listened to that particular Christmas season. And of course, we're talking about this was in August because I was planning for a December thing.
Yeah, I remember.
And I remember sitting in the cafe I used to own and pulling up this song by Michael W. Smith called Christmas Day. And I was instantly there.
Yeah.
It transported me to Christmas Day. Now, I'm pretty sure that if I listened to it today, it would not hit me the same. But everything just lined up
Yeah.
for me to listen to that song in that moment, and it set the tone for everything we did that Christmas.
That's
and this
such a
was
God
months
thing.
before.
That's a God thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a God thing. It's like I'm always kind of intentional about the first song that I listen to in a season, because I feel like that one song may set the tone for my entire holiday season.
Oh, that's a really interesting thing.
Which is really interesting, and some of that comes from my worship planning and my just being in the mindset.
Well, you're a music guy. I mean, yeah.
And so every season there's that song.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to figure out, do I have a song this year? And I don't know if I do, which would be weird. But I don't know if I do.
It's Feliz Navidad, isn't it?
I mean, well, I do love Feliz Navidad. But I don't know if I have a song this year. You know?
I'm sorry, Lou. I'm sorry. We used to sing Feliz Navidad at the church that we served, and there were some people around there who were like, Feliz Navidad was really hard for them.
It was really
hard. I was
hard.
standing next to them and going, people, this is not hard. We're not asking you to sing the whole darn song in Spanish. Just Feliz Navidad. I mean, how hard is this?
It's just not that hard.
All right, I'm from California. Never mind.
It's not that hard. I love Christmas music, but I'm just really, I think I am very particular about the songs that
100%.
resonate. Sometimes I can't predict what they'll be. And every year there are new ones. But I really think, this year I've been writing some Christmas music, and I've been thinking about putting more Christmas music out into the world. And I've been really thinking about the spectrum of emotion that people experience during the holidays.
It's huge. Well, I mean, I just got tearful.
Yeah,
right?
and it's just, it hits people deep.
Yeah, it does.
And so I think that music is one of those things that really connects or repels people. I love talking about it. I love dishing about it. I love ragging on it. And I love glowing about it. I mean, it's all of those emotions in one.
For sure.
And every year when I get to lead Christmas worship, it's just a lovely thing to get to pull out these songs that I sing once or twice a year and hear other people sing them back to me. I enjoy it very much.
I was thinking about this earlier, that probably the only thing I miss about being a pastor is the late night Christmas Eve service.
Yeah.
About putting that together, coming together with you. Like, we can't create awe in people, but we can set up the space for it.
Yeah, we can.
I miss that. That's the piece I miss.
Yeah, I miss that too.
So I was thinking as you were talking about two things. One is Vince Guaraldi.
Love Vince Guaraldi. Oh my gosh.
Time is here.
Love Charlie Brown Christmas.
Yeah, I love that.
Love
I love it. But the other is a song of yours that I love, and that's Beauty and the Broken. And I know I've told you this 1,000 times, but it is one of those songs that, to me, actually it's a lot like the Goo Goo Dolls song, because it captures this sensibility about the depth of what Jesus and or Christ, however you phrase, what that means. Both Beauty and the Broken, the idea that God sees the beauty in our brokenness, and God doesn't judge us on the basis of how broken we are. God sees the beauty, right?
Yes.
Which is very similar to the Better Days idea.
Yeah.
But I love that song so much. Could you give people who haven't heard it like one line about this song?
Yeah. The first verse kind of paints the picture of the nativity scene and how, it wasn't a perfect scene. It wasn't neat and tidy. The second verse is a father and his daughter having Christmas dinner, the two of them, and it's been a difficult year. We don't know what's happened to them exactly, but it's been a tough one. Yep. And in the moment of just being there together, that's enough.
Yes.
And they take that as enough. In the bridge, it sort of turns to us. We're all sinners and saints who've made mistakes, but God sees us and he knows us and he loves us all the same. There is beauty in our brokenness. There is something so redeemable about our humanity. Not just redeemable, but celebratable.
Yeah. And redemptive.
Yeah. So anyway, but yeah, Beauty and the Broken. Thank you. I appreciate
you're
that.
welcome. No, I love that song. I think if there's anything I want people to get from this podcast, it's that.
Yeah.
that we are beloved and beautiful and messed up and all of the things we are, and all figuring it out together, hopefully together. And that God enjoys us and is rooting for us and is hoping and trying to like guide us all into, but that's what it is. And God is not upset by the fact that we have challenges.
Right.
As much in my head as I get in everything I do, but also in this podcast, that's what I hope people get.
Yeah.
It's just how loved we are.
Yes.
And if you are a person who conceives of God in the way of Jesus, in the way of Christ, I want people to know that it's not that we were so sucky that God had to kill his son. It's instead that God knew we needed someone that would help us see who God is.
Yes.
And so God came to us in this fragile, fallible, easily destroyed baby.
Yeah.
Who we get to watch grow up and become the kind of man that I hope that all of us would want to be.
Yes, I echo all of that. And that is the perfect way to wrap up our season 5. We want to wish you the merriest, happiest Christmas and a glorious New Year. And we are very excited to come back to you in a few months with new ideas for new episodes. If you have some to share with us during our break, please send them on. cocktailtheology.com is where you can find us. You can also find us on the socials. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook.
We sometimes show up there.
We're around places. We would always love to hear from you for ideas for cocktails or just to hear about your holidays and hear about how you're doing. We love hearing from you.
And we honestly do care about how you're doing. So please let us know. And if we can be helpful, we want to be helpful.
Indeed, we do. Happy holidays, friends.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Funny how the view can change, how life just seems to rearrange itself. No matter what it was, I don't know how it goes, but look, moving on feels pretty good. Moving on feels pretty good.
If you enjoyed this episode, please give us a like and hit subscribe wherever you're listening right now. We welcome your comments, questions, and ideas for conversations and for cocktails. Please get in touch with us at our website, cocktailtheology.com. Cocktail Theology is a production of SFS. Our theme song is Moving On Feels Pretty Good, recorded by yours truly, Benton Stokes. You can find my music wherever you stream your favorite artists. Join us next Thursday for another new episode.